Let's bring in journalist Touré, who knows Diddy, and defense attorney Arthur Aidala, who represents Ghislaine Maxwell, which is why I brought it up about the Epstein case. Okay, Celebrity, Touré, let me start with this. Celebrity A and Celebrity B. Obviously, the plaintiff knows who those people are. What does that mean in terms of the storytelling of this if big names start getting dragged into it for not just knowing what Diddy did, but doing it with Diddy?
I mean, I definitely know that that is something that people are hungry for, and they want to know who else is involved. And there's this sort of prurient desire to see other people brought down in this. And surely Puff did not do all this alone. There are other people who need to be held accountable for creating a web of enabling and protecting him while he did all these sorts of things. But I'm not sitting here waiting to see like who else is named. The big fish in this situation is Puff. He is the one, if the government story is correct, if the complainant stories are correct, is the one who is initiating these incidents and is wrapping other people up in his madness. Tony Busby in all of his lawsuits, he's the one out of Houston doing 120, keeps talking about a sexual quid pro quo that Puff created, where people understood in order to get to be a singer or a producer or what have you in his circle, you had to go along with what he wanted you to do at night. So, he is the big dog in all of this. And these other stories, I get it, I guess, but it seems very like gossipy when we have this very real, very frightening story right in front of us.
It is, until you put two words made into one after it: subpoena. And Arthur, this is what people thought was going to happen with Epstein. That, Diddy's not Epstein in terms of, let's say, the level of money guys and international guys that he was running around with, but there are big names around him, and you get a subpoena, and you got to become part of this litigation, and it's about what you knew. It can really take it to the next level. This was what everybody thought was going to happen with Epstein, and then he killed himself.
Well, yeah, but Epstein was the criminal case. Let's keep in mind all these allegations you're talking about are not in a criminal court right now. They are in a civil court, and the subpoena power is much weaker in civil court than it is in criminal court. But Chris, the story with the 13-year-old would break anybody's heart. It is a 24-year-old story. And in the complaint, it says that she has suffered every day over the last 24 years. It makes you wonder why she never complained to anybody who would have brought her to a lawyer or to law enforcement any one of the days in the past 24 years. The other story, Chris, is that the guy is drugged to the point where he's performing oral sex on someone else. And I don't know if any drug, and I've done cases like this as a prosecutor and as a defense attorney, where you're so drugged where you're performing oral sex on a man. So, I know Diddy's going to have some great lawyers around him who are going to be able to question these people. All of these cases with the hotline numbers make me nervous. They did it against my client, Harvey Weinstein. If you know something about us, dial 1-800-HARVEY and tell us your story, and you're going to get a big payday. And that's what lawyers got to think about, is whether this is just a big money grab.
Well, listen, I appreciate you both on this. The only thing, look, we'll see. For me, it's certainly not prurient interest. It's what does Diddy do to try to get himself out of trouble? And that's when this story will go to the next level. Because look, Touré, if he doesn't want to take a deal where he's going to be gone for a long time, he's going to have to offer something to these guys.
But Chris,
I'll give you a last quick thought on that.
That's not a real option in this situation. He cannot explain some gigantic conspiracy that is larger than the one that he's in. He's not a mid-level Cosa Nostra who can tell you how John Gotti actually gets this stuff done. He doesn't have a bunch of information that he can give to law enforcement that will change their understanding of the criminal underworld. He doesn't have any information that he can talk and get out of this. That's a weird fantasy that people keep bringing up, that like he's going to name some names and somehow that will get him out of it. Like, no, that's not available to him.
Well, we'll see. And I hear why you're saying it, Touré, but We'll see where it takes us. Touré, appreciate you very much. Arthur Aidala, thank you very much. Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.